Is weird, odd, strange, or just plain bizarre is really your cup of tea? Then the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast will give you that fix. Can't believe it? Well, listen for yourself as we deliver the strangest news you definitely won't find on CNN or Fox. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast.
Welcome to the GSMC Weird News Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented on and by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. Now, as you guys know, Super Bowl is coming in a couple days. It's a really big deal. It's, I would say it's like the Super Bowl, but you can't really use that analogy when it comes to the actual Super Bowl because that's the analogy. It's a Super Bowl. So, weird things happen around these times. Everyone's competitive. We spend 2 weeks talking about this thing, and it's a big deal. Apparently, I didn't know this, but they have a wing eating competition in Philadelphia. And it's basically been going on for a while now. And it drew like 20,000 people. It's Wing Bowl 26. I've been doing this for 26 years. Basically right before the Super Bowl, there's a wing eating competition. And so when I heard wing eating competition, I'm thinking like, okay, so what's going on here is people are going to eat some wings and wings. It's cool. Like they're wings, right? Like they're fun, have a good time. It's not like hot dogs and pies. They're wings, right? So I'm thinking, when you eat a wing and you savor it and have a good time with this wing, I wouldn't guess the amount. When I saw the amount of number this woman ate, I thought the contest was like 3 hours long. That's how long I was thinking the contest was. Because it said she ate 501 wings to win the Wing Bowl. Now, I'm like, how long is this bowl? Like, how long can this be that she ate that many wings? Like, geez, how long? Like, are people sitting there for hours? No. I'll pop the article open for you guys, and it looks like she ate 501 wings in 30 minutes. 30 minutes. She ate 501 wings in 30 minutes. Now, I don't know. If we talking about, I'm not really one that supports the boneless wing. To me, a boneless wing isn't a wing. That's just an expensive chicken nugget. Don't come in with your boneless wings. That's not a wing. Now, for her to eat that many wings, with them being like bone-in wing, real wings, she has to be a professional. Turns out she actually won 2 years ago, setting a record of she ate 444 wings. 444 a couple years ago in 2015. And now she basically was able to up her ante to get to 501. Now, how are you able to eat 60 more than you did 3 years ago? I'd like to understand. I say all this to say that we all celebrate the Super Bowl in different ways. It seems like Philadelphia is really excited. I just didn't know that wing competitions are this serious. Personally, I'm not someone to rush through wings. I personally just like to enjoy them and savor them. And if I did have to eat a certain amount of wings in 30 minutes, we're probably looking at like, we're probably looking at 30 wings, just because like I can't. No, I can't. No, just because the way wings are like manufactured and fried and designed, I can't eat 501 wings in 30 minutes. I couldn't do it. I don't even. No, I wouldn't even want to. Right? Like wings. It's not. Wings are really good when you have 10 to 15 of them. Once you get over like 20 wings, that's too much chicken. It's too much. We all love chicken. We're all fans of chicken. We all support chicken. We all stand by chicken. Even vegetarians stand by chicken. And that's just too many wings for me. I can't do that. So my hat goes off to her. I don't know why they don't show her picture on here. I guess she wants to remain anonymous so that nobody can so to avoid paparazzi. I don't know. Her name is Molly Schuyler. I don't know why they avoided showing her like that. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. Not sure. Another Eagles fan. Well, another Philadelphia situation. There was an Eagles fan that basically had surgery, and he went under anesthetic after having his wisdom teeth removed, and he woke up scared, talking about, "Hey, did I miss the Super Bowl? Did I miss the Super Bowl?" He didn't say, "Hey, is my mouth okay? Do you guys get the right tooth? Can I still talk?" He said, "Did I miss the Super Bowl?" This Super Bowl is about to be a really big deal because it's the Eagles' third time going, and it's their second time playing the Patriots. It's going to be a really big deal. It's one guy got so excited. Well, this isn't related to the Super Bowl at all, but I want to give you guys some advice. If you ever rob a bank, right? This is just my bank robbery advice. If you ever rob a bank and you realize the plan isn't going the way that you planned, this is what you do. You take off all your clothes and throw the money in the air and run down the street. That's what you do, because apparently that'll work. A Florida man, I'm so tired. I'm not tired. I'm not even going to say that. I'm so perplexed by most of these stories coming from Florida. I'm so perplexed. I feel like, I'm going to say that I give you guys this about 3 times a week. I'm going to say I give you guys 3 times a week. Usually each episode has about 2 to 3 stories in it, right? 2 to 3, 3 to 4. It feels like every episode has a Florida man in it. They stole the fish in Florida. The Florida guy called the DUI on himself. I think the lady jumped down the chimney in Florida. Jeez. Okay. So a Florida man robbed the bank, and as he was running down the street, he stripped naked and threw the money in the air. And apparently the judge and the court, they found him, he was like basically guilty based on insanity, innocent based on insanity. So he's asked to go to a mental health treatment facility. It was only like a 25-minute trial, and he was found guilty by reason of insanity. Now, he said that, the prosecutor said that as he was like leaving the bank, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm not even going to tell you guys what happened yet. I can't because this is too good. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. And when I get back, I'm going to tell you guys about how you can avoid going to jail if you rob a bank. You have to follow this guy's steps. Be right back.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented on and by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcast needs. As I was telling you a little bit earlier, I was saying this gentleman was able to avoid prison from his bank robbery because of guilty by insanity. Now, he robbed the bank and then he took off all his clothes. He said he can't be held responsible because he didn't know what was happening. This is what happened. He left the bank, right, with the money. The die pack exploded. For those who that don't know what a die pack is, whenever you rob a bank, I've seen this in the movies. I don't know. I haven't robbed a bank. But whenever you rob a bank, the teller has these things they put in there with the money. That way, when you run down the street, you leave, the sensor goes off because it's left the facility. and it explodes. So it gets all over the money and gets all over yourself. So I don't know, you steal $1,000 and a dye pack explodes. It's all red. You can't spend it anywhere. The dye pack exploded with the guy, our bank robber. So when the dye pack exploded, he ended up being covered in red dye. He just covered in red dye, just completely covered, looking like the Kool-Aid man. And so he took off all his clothes and threw the money in the air. And he told the investigators that there was a chip in his head that made him rob the bank so he could pursue his career as a comedian. Now, I don't know people. I don't know about the people that put the chips in your head. I'm not sure. Those aren't the circles that I usually frequent. I'm not 100% sure about the chip people. I don't know if they exist. I know they exist for dogs, right? Because you can put a chip in your dog and you can see like what's going on with them, right? But as far as the chip people go, I don't know if they do exist. But if the chip people do exist, do the chip people put chips in your head and say follow your dreams? I feel like that would defeat the purpose of a chip, right? Isn't the chip to tell you to be in line? Because I don't know what the chip people get by inserting a chip that says, here's this chip in your brain. Rob this bank. Follow your dreams. I don't know why the chip people would do that. I'm not 100% sure. But if this worked, apparently this worked for this guy, and he basically got off. So for you guys that are in dire straits and you're feeling the need, like, oh, you know what? Times are hard. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to need to rob a bank. Just make sure that if you do decide to rob a bank, if things hit the fan and they don't work out, make sure that you take off all of your clothes and then throw the money in the air. Because at that point, it's like, okay, I obviously don't know what I'm doing because I threw this money in there and I took all my clothes off. Like, I'm good. You guys can't blame me for anything at this point. I'm naked. So I'm naked. But I wonder though. I wonder this. I'm wondering if so many crazy things happen in Florida that they're just like, oh, you know what? We don't even have room for him. Like we don't even have room. There's nothing we can do about it. We just have to let him go. But he robbed the bank. Listen, man, we got a bunch of people that rob banks by gunpoint. We got them on tape. We have them spending the money. We have them going to Vegas. But this guy took his clothes off. He took all his clothes off and he's covered in red dye. Look at him. Look at him. He's still covered in red dye right now. We can't put that guy in jail with no space. Oh, then they have to just basically just put him in the mental hospital for a couple of weeks and he'll get to go home. So I take all the advice that I gave you guys back. I take it back because there's a possibility, depending on where you live at, that might not work out for you. It might not work. It really might. It might not. But if you plan on going to war anytime soon, the Goodwill might be a good place for you to go and get your war supplies. Just recently, authorities, was this in Florida too? Oh my gosh. What? Okay. In Florida, a loaded grenade launcher with a live grenade was left at a Goodwill store. So basically, the Goodwill employees found this item outside of the store, and they called the police immediately. Now, I feel like I don't hear me out. I don't know if that's that weird though, right? I don't know, guys. I don't know. And like as a Goodwill employee, I would think it was weird. Like, yo, a grenade launcher. What are we gonna do with this? We can't sell this. No. What's the tax write-off on this? What's the tax write-off on a grenade launcher? First of all, if I go take a grenade launcher down to the Goodwill, do I get like a $500,000 tax write-off? Is that what I get? I just need to know for future reference in case I want to donate my grenade. I mean, in case I have a friend that wants to donate his grenade launcher. But the reason I don't find this weird is because say if you did have a grenade launcher, you didn't want any more parts of it. So let's say you're turning over a new leaf and things are going to be different for you going forward. You're like, you know what? I don't want to live the grenade launcher life anymore. Where do you take it? You can't take it to the police. They're going to ask questions. You can't take it to one of those trade a gun for a computer programs. You know, if they have the programmers like, hey, if you bring a gun down here, we'll give you $100. If you bring your gun, we'll give you a laptop. You can't take a grenade launcher down to the gun trade-in place. You can't do that. Even in Florida, you can't put a grenade launcher on Craigslist and say, hey, I got this grenade launcher. It's free. You can't do that. I've always been told you can take a baby to the firehouse. I don't really know how that works. I'm not sure what the rules are with dropping off a baby at the firehouse, but I know you can't drop a grenade launcher off there. Why? Because they're going to ask questions too. You can drop a baby off there, but you can't bring a grenade launcher there. If you bring a baby there, people are going to be like, oh, you got this baby? Where'd you get it from? I don't know. I don't. It used to be mine. I don't really want this baby anymore. All right, cool. We'll take the baby. We'll work it out. If you bring a grenade launcher, they're going to ask you way too many questions because that's the world we live in. It's you can drop off just a whole human life somewhere and it's okay. But if you drop off I don't know, a baby weapon of mass destruction, then, you know, there can be some problems. But I just don't think, that's why I don't think it's weird to just leave it there. I would leave it there. The police are like, nah, this makes sense. You can't throw it in the water. That's dangerous. A shark might get his hands on it. Now we got a shark with a grenade launcher. Now what? Whole world over. So I don't necessarily knock this guy or woman or whoever for leaving it there. I mean, they could have took the clip out. I don't really know if you should just leave a whole grenade in the launcher when you drop it off. I don't think that's being a responsible citizen. There's other ways to go about that. I feel like maybe put a note on it like, hey, this thing's loaded, be careful, or don't touch, or please contact authorities. I don't blame them for leaving it there. I blame them for leaving it loaded because that's just not safe. There was a time where when I was like 15 years old and me and my ragtag bunch would run around just doing wild things. If we found the grenade launcher like just next to a Goodwill, I have a feeling that there would be a car that would be on fire within about 45 seconds. I'm just saying, no thought put to it at all. Like, it's no like, hey bro, are you sure we should do this? Nope. We're just going to do this. Are you guys sure we should be handling this grenade launcher? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We found this and this is what's going to happen now. So the guy, for any of you guys out there that are going to leave like your firearm, you know, at the Goodwill, just make sure that you leave a note on it first. Cause it's not cool. It's not cool. Amazingly, on the bottom of the article, it says it's not clear who donated the items. Well, duh. No one's gonna say, hey, I left my grenade launcher here. If you guys have any questions, please call me. No. If you leave a grenade launcher at the Goodwill, you're in a situation where people can't call you and ask you questions. That's just not. That's not a situation where you're gonna. That's not a situation where you're gonna contact me after. It's not gonna be the thing. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. When I get back, I'm going to tell you guys about how you can get unemployment for your dog. For your dog! I don't know about cats yet, but based on the research that I've done, it looks like, not based on the research, but based on a story, it sounds like you can get unemployment for your dog. So if you got a deadbeat dog who's just chilling, he's not taking care of his pups, not cleaning up, not handling his responsibilities, never, always borrowing money from you, then saying he's going to give him back to you on his taxes, but he didn't work, so he can't pay you back when he gets his taxes because he's not going to get a tax return because he didn't pay any taxes. If you know a deadbeat dog, there's a possibility you might be able to get him on some unemployment benefits. I'm going to tell you guys about that as soon as I get back. Don't go anywhere. Oh, hey, and while I'm gone, don't eat any Tide packets. Don't eat Tide Pods. You guys know better. Be right back.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented on and by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. Now, as promised, I told you guys I was going to tell you about a top secret loophole, a life hack where you can get unemployment for your dog. I don't know where your dog has to work at to get unemployment, but apparently a dog in Michigan was approved for unemployment. Michael Ryder had been approved for $360 per week from the Michigan unemployment until we found out that he was a dog. Apparently, Michael Ryder is a German Shepherd that is owned by Michael Haddock. And Michael Haddock basically received a letter saying, he received a letter addressed to his dog saying that he's been approved for unemployment benefits. And this guy, he called the unemployment insurance place and like, hey, my dog, he's not a person. So he's just not a person. So he probably shouldn't have unemployment. And the unemployment agency just said, hey, it must have been a system glitch, some type of error. Now, I find this interesting because they pointed out like I like the way people like write stories because they actually pointed out that the owner of this dog is an attorney, right? Because when I first read the story and glanced at it, and I was like, why are they saying he's an attorney? Then when I got to the point where I'm like, he called in and said that this happened, that makes complete sense because there's only like a small percentage of people that are going to call in and say, you guys are going to send my dog some money and we can't accept that, right? I don't know what the percentage of Americans are that are going to call and say that, but I'm not going to say it's very big just because of like with the amount of taxes people pay and the amount of money people give to the government. I feel like most people could get a letter about, hey, we're going to start sending your cat like money. And then you'd have a justification like, well, I mean, I had to pay a bunch of taxes for this cat, and my cat does eat a lot of food, and my cat does work. It chases mice, and there haven't been any mice, so technically my cat is unemployed. My cat's unemployed right now because there's no mice, so I'm just going to keep this money. So, like, I take my hat off to this gentleman for calling in and saying, hey, I need you guys to figure this out. Especially, I mean, as an attorney anyway, I don't know. He must make... I'm just going to make a ball. I'm going to say he makes $100,000 a year. He's in Michigan. I don't know what type of attorney he is. He may be a part-time attorney making like $20,000 a year, but I doubt that because his hourly is high. Either way, he has no reason to accept this amount of money. However, this makes me ask, how many times is this happening? Right? Like this hasn't happened one time, you guys. This isn't something where, oh my God, this happened once. This situation, you know what this is? I'm going to tell you what this is. This is like on the news. We're like, oh my God, there's a solar eclipse. And then 25 days later, there's another one. That's what this is like. And however, we don't know. It's not reported all the time. I want to know how many pets are receiving unemployment benefits. If a dog in Michigan was able to receive a letter for unemployment benefits, how many dogs, cats, hamsters, bearded dragons, pandas, koalas, baby giraffes are receiving unemployment right now? How many? Because, right, well, they send you a letter like, oh my God, you've been approved. Yay, right? What do? You fill out a form, you send it back in, they send you money for what, 52 weeks, 26 weeks, whatever. And then you're good. So don't tell me like, oh, this was a system error. No. If this happened once, if this happened one time, then it's happened at least 10 other times in that state in the past 2 years. I'm going to move to Michigan. I'm moving to Michigan and I'm going to get a few different animals and make sure they have first and last names. I'm going to get a parakeet and name him John Smith. And then I'm going to get a pet cow and name her Patty Pickles. And then I'm going to get a frog and name him Leap Froggy Frog. And I'm going to get probably 10 to 15 pets and I'm going to wait on this check to come. And And hey, if you guys feel like my parakeet is unemployed because he had his wings clipped, so he can't fly anymore and that's his job, then so be it. I'm going to accept that. I am going to accept it, period. So, if you guys want to get some unemployment for your pet, go ahead and move to Michigan. That's where it's popping at. For other reasons, I wouldn't move to Michigan, but that's a different story. Time for best history. Apparently in the 16th and 17th century, people used to eat other people, but not for cannibalism purposes. They would eat them because they felt like they would cure ailments. So it wasn't even the question of should you eat human flesh. It was what sort of human flesh you should eat. What they would do, basically they would crush human skulls and like use the powder and put it on their bodies, and they would soak like skin and alcohol, and they would drink people's blood because they felt like it'd make them better. Now, this is what I find interesting about humans, right? So there's people that like don't eat meat and like don't eat fish and things like that, right? But I think that humans are so hungry, we'll find a reason to eat anything. Not everybody was eating people trying to feel better. Like, you're not going to eat a dead guy who died from a disease and then feel better. It apparently one of the things you're supposed to do was like take fat from someone and rub fat on an ache. If somebody died from obesity and you take their fat and rub it on your body, then I think that's probably not the best idea. They're not even alive anymore. I don't want anything of someone that you didn't make it. This person, they didn't make it. I don't want anything they have. I don't want even now. I mean, as far as like organ donor situations, like, okay, like if they got a cool heart or, some livers that I need, or a cornea, whatever. But I'm not going to eat anything. If you just died, I don't want anything that you have. I feel like humans just make up things to eat stuff. Like, oh, you know what? I'm going to eat this because this might make me be taller. No. Like we wrap bacon and everything. Just like, hey, you know what tastes really good? Bacon wrapped. No, bacon wrapped anything tastes good because you want to eat bacon. That's it. We are never gonna like succeed as like trying to get everyone to be vegan or vegetarian or whatever. It's not going to happen because humans will find any reason to eat meat, any reason. Even saying if I drink alcohol out of this person's skull, then it's going to get rid of my headache. No, it's just going to make you drunk and make you look weird. So with that, today, when you're prepping all your food for Super Bowl and getting ready to like make your bacon wrapped, whatever bacon wrap you're going to make, just keep in mind that there was once a time that you didn't have bacon wrap stuff, and to be exotic and eat something that made you feel a little bit better about yourself, you'd have to eat a whole person and be like, hey, you know what I had? What'd you have, bro? I had a finger wrapped nose the other day. It was splendid. It was incredible. Oh, well, that sounds tasty, but you know what I had? What'd you have? I had an ear stuffed nose. Oh my God, you had an ear stuffed nose? Yes. It was, oh my God, it was stellar. It was out of this world. It was definitely out of this world. Where'd you eat at? I went to the Body Part. Oh, you went to the Body Part? I heard it was really good. Yeah, where'd you go? I went to the Body Bar. Oh, it's so good there. So good. A little overpriced though. Really? That's how we were living back then? I refuse. Anyway, I thank you guys for joining me on another episode of the GSMC Weird News Podcast. This has been your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented on and by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcast needs. Have fun this weekend. Don't drink and drive. Call an Uber. Go Patriots or Eagles, whoever you rock with. I'm not going to tell you who I rock with because I don't want to be biased, but I'm just going to say one word: GOAT. Live long, prosper, watch your potholes. Have an amazing weekend. Thanks again for listening.